In too many respects, education has had a status quo mindset, where what's worked in the past, what's rooted in tradition and legacy, continues into the future, even if it's not benefiting kids. It makes you stop and reconsider. What if we deconstructed education and put it back together again in new and different ways? How would we do it? The needs of today are different than when we were in an industrializing society. Education doesn't need an efficiency-based approach. Our contemporary world demands that we be creative, that we collaborate, that we adapt. We saw a gap in the market for philanthropy. We believe there's thousands of innovators who are trying novel approaches that really stretch the canvas and could unlock the unique gifts and talents of every child in our country. We've awarded more than 1,800 grants, serving a total of more than 6 million kids. So what ended up happening?
This is Stand Together Presents. Stories, ideas, and advice from changemakers tackling our biggest challenges.
My name is Meredith Olson. I'm the president of VELA Education Fund. I attended traditional public schools. Typically, we will see schools deliver education in an efficient way across the board at relatively low cost to very, very many kids. But too many kids are underserved by our traditional systems as well. Education is not about teaching kids how to be automated. The role of education is to help you figure out what are your talents, what are your strengths, what really motivates you, and then connect you with the experiences so that you can ultimately live the life that you want to live. In order to make that happen, education needs to be transformed. There's many different ways to educate kids. In fact, there's thousands and thousands of different ways. The needs of today demand that kids utilize innovative approaches in order to unleash their potential, to unleash their creativity. However, when we think about investments in innovation in education, you tend to require that innovators have an evidence-based track record of success, a long history, a proven ability to scale, and an ability to be world-class. And they typically are delivered in schools that cost roughly $20 to $25 million per site. These goals are very well intended. These goals also have the effect of limiting who is able to innovate. We wanted to try something different. Rather than investing a large amount of money, millions, in a few people, VELA is able to invest small amounts of money in thousands and thousands of people. They could be micro schools, they could be hybrid homeschools, they could be cooperative learning communities. We see approaches that focus less on efficiency, less on automation, and more on unleashing the creativity and imagination in kids. We find students who are learning at their own pace, at their own rate, tapping into their unique talents and succeeding on their own terms, and then they're ready to spread their wings and grow.
Let me just kind of show you what goes on out here because it is a really unique way to do things.
We exist to invest in permissionless innovation in order to stimulate the growth of alternatives. We trust innovators to develop the solutions that are going to work best for the kids and the families, without asking for the blessing of policymakers, of funders, or of people in power. They are held accountable to the families and kids they serve. As one of our community members has a new idea, and then that idea is adopted, challenged, and tested by another member of the community, the body of knowledge of the VELA community expands. They are spreading their knowledge, their know-how, far and wide. They collaborate with one another. They get better together. Then what you see are traditional environments who want to adopt many of those same practices. They start to become more normal. That can only happen when you have innovation that's happening in unconventional ways in communities all across this country because they're made known, because they're made possible, because they've had a chance to survive. We realized that a few $1,000s to the right person can fuel innovation to a scale we never expected was imaginable. We limit our potential when we limit the people who have access to opportunities to drive social change. Success to us looks like an environment where innovators are accepted, where new approaches are welcomed, where there's a willingness to experiment and get better. If VELA is successful, we will have a more flourishing society where more kids are tapping into their unique talents and succeeding on their own terms, where there are more opportunities available across a diversity of educational approaches, where there's greater variation, where there's more fun, where there's more imagination in education.
Stand Together partners with changemakers tackling our biggest challenges. To see more stories, follow our channels. And to learn more about how you can partner with us, go to standtogether.org.